Greetings everyone, please give me a little make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's starting to boot on up. Deactivate the live chat windows and turn on my macros. I don't really hear Grit's theme all too often. Then again, not many tier 0 COs get played, and this is high funds, which I think is not tier 0 for Grit. Can't remember. Either way. Looks like the live chat windows are online. Macros are online. I think everything's online. Just give me another moment to check my computer. Is my microphone working? Yes. And looks like everything's good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age of Empires Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the north side as the what's this, Umber Blossom Von Bolt, we got Jage 1230. Spawn on the bottom left side as the Green Earth Grit, we got F Tiger. This map is high funds, so gotta remind myself that because I keep forgetting when high funds is in play. Things get crazy very quickly. This is, of course, Grit is the indirect specialist. Well, of course, Von Bolt just have natural +10/+10. Both players do have 3 base inside. Comm tower in each corner. Comm towers are not in corner. And airports here, and some in the center, which could be locked down by by a Grit missile. 6 tiles is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here would be a missile firing base into the airport, which could come in play. We got reasonable wheeled traffic coming from this base all the way over here, so there's a highway to there. Just ignore the beach and you'll be fine. And so let's go ahead and get started. There is a base here, so not base, city there to capture immediately to deny monies to your opponent. Do have an artillery there. We've got the artillery spam starting for Grit. My apologies, going to open up a drink near me. Apologize for that before I start the stream. Tank deployment field. We already got 3 artillery for Grit, and all 3 tanks for Von Bolt. Like I said, high funds, which means high chaos very quickly. Oh, yep, that's Grit. I keep forgetting it's Grit. And also, I'm going to adjust my microphone. Please give me a moment. There we go. So already 6 artillery on the field. Fine, I agree. We'll start to watch these as Days of Ruin substitute. Days of Ruins on Tuesdays, so tomorrow. What, don't you want to watch Grit's playing artillery? We got recon, reconnoiter in the air. Do have a tank here, probably just intercept the recon. Battlecopter here. Yep, battlecopter's gonna be very important. It will also force Grit to get anti-airs. I doubt he'll go for missiles all too early, but it's possible. Anti-air battlecopter zone. He does have -20% firepower on his missiles, or his battlecopters. Not as bad as Drake, and can be overcome with a couple comm towers. Battlecopter, tank, and anti-air with another infantry. Gotta go. Into a lot of artillery now upon the field. Good number of tanks. He's gone to blitz forward. He's probably going to really rely on Ex Machina, lock down formation of artillery. Also, the Grit artillery spam is comical. That's Grit. Not only artillery is cheaper here, supercharged with +1 range and +20% firepower. Couple more tanks or artilleries there. Very different than tanks. And another anti-air. I wonder, give me a moment. Let's see, what banned units? Black bombs and selfs are both banned. Okay, that is something very important to note. Grit is probably very susceptible to black bombs. Oh, got a bomber. Great, we'll need to go for a healthy number of anti-airs. Of course, it's easy to spam out anti-airs and it's spam out bombers. Got a missile. The missile knows that for nowhere it's not. Another bomber. He's going to mass produce bombers. Mass producing battlecopters is probably a good idea. He's probably a good idea to go for a battlecopter per turn. And something I'm starting to notice as well. Von Bolt has 34,000 income. Grit has 28. He's forfeiting these 3 properties. He knows that it takes time to get the artillery spam going. His foot soldier is at least completely and utterly ordinary, which is a plus for him. Got a fighter here. He has to go for a fighter. He needs the extra range rather than the range. And that's the HQ. He's got to make sure to keep that locked down. And for those who are not super familiar with Grit, his power and superfire provides both the same increased firepower bonus. Increase your indirect firepower from plus 20 to plus 40. The only difference between the power and superpower is plus 1 range, or plus 1 additional range, or plus 2 additional range. So it's generally better to go for sniper attack unless you absolutely need the extra range, since it provides no extra firepower bonuses. And Grit has a wall. Wait. Capture victory. 20 properties. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he would need still a couple more properties after that. But the HQ. Von Bolt may want to go. If Grit has too much up here, go for down here. What's the unit limit? Sorry, give me another moment. Unit limit is 65. Yeah, for Von Bolt, it's probably gonna go for tanks, neo tanks. Don't even bother with medium tanks; they're too slow. Grit can go for medium tanks since he needs them just to be fast enough. Bombers is definitely a good call. Battlecopters are a good call. Tanks are a good call. And Von Bolt should go for an aircraft every single turn, in my opinion. I'm going to sort of fast forward a little bit because I think it's going to be a stalemate real quick. Look how low power charge. It's turn 14 at only 9,600 versus 7,700. So approximately both sides lost 9,000 funds of value. No, that's probably incorrect. Close enough. Probably 6,000 funds since you get double. No, you get full value for losing something and half value for killing. So there's a mathematical formula. If we add both of these players' total power charge, divide that, and then times by 0.75, it should give us the approximate average. No, those are 2/3. There's a mathematical formula. I just don't know at the top of my head, and nor do I really want to work it out right now. Yep, he started a front shift towards HQ. We realized, hey, I have to protect that. And Von Bolt's 2 profits away from victory and has 50,000 income versus 28. Von Bolt should play the solid game. He has money. Get expensive army out and then charge forward. Grit into Von Bolt. Grit's army is going to destroy if he's going to makes it to Von Bolt's super. Grit all needs a death ball. Pretty much. But of course, a death ball could be counted like half his army be knocked out, you know, ex machina. Let's see. Trying to capture these properties here. They're all. Actually, none of the indirects are covering the city, though he has enough mobile assets, so you could actually start capturing that city there. All he needs to do is capture 2 properties, or the HQ, and he wins. Which, honestly, is easier said than done. Couple Neo-Tanks, Battlecopter, Infantry. Yeah, I'm going to just fast forward until there's a move played. Because right now, Grid's going to lose. Von Bolt's almost up a unit cap. Here's the thing as well, if Von Bolt's able to attack and get his power charge in the same turn, he could potentially knock out half his army and then perhaps lock down the other half. So Von Bolt could win in one turn. Though how on earth you get you remember you only get like half power for killing something. He's making some advances, some pokes here is probably good for him. And it's easy for Von Bolt to stay out of range of snipe and or super snipe, just stay back far enough. You have to do half or ×2 value ever remains, so it'll just take a full super art and do 180,000 damage, which may or may not be easy when both players have well over in the hundreds of thousands, 537 versus 375 at the moment. So these pokes forward with here and there is a good idea for Von Bolt. If he's at unit cap, he could send some tanks forward to cycle in more valuable units in the field and not to get some power charge going. Because Von Bolt, if he gets power charge, he's more likely to win. Grit, this would be good, but it would be difficult from the edge forward. Trying to capture some of these properties, which is important. He is dangerously losing. Oh, wait, Von Bolt has also 3 comm towers. Trying to flip some properties over here, which is critical. What's the missile coverage? Just gotta keep one tile away, but looks like there's a couple free picks he could do with his bombers. The way anti-airs are somewhat nearby. Actually, this infantry could be bombed by a bomber. Got another fighter over here. Rocket. Push forward a tank there. It's not a good idea to feed Von Bolt with a power charge. Does take out the infantry unit there. No anti-airs in range, and even with a super snipe, the missile will be out of range. Von Bolt could lose it to a fighter, but there could be also a great way Von Bolt to get power charge. Von Bolt could be in position where he trickles in units, just slowly get a power charge going, and then try to knock out half his opponent's army. We got a sniper attack. Some units are pushed forward. Does he get battle copter? Does he have enough for a super? Does he have angle? Fighter can hit the bomber, can hit the fighter. We do have a super sniper available. Von Bolt looks like he's charging forward. He's trying to go for his Ex Machina. Number of things going down. Infantry units does take out a missile. I thought he was going to sack the bomber on an anti-air. And there's the Ex Machina. I have no idea what's going on land. It landed that formation there. I don't know how this is going to go. He aggressively pushed it over here so he can smash this flank. Then he can follow up with a second attack over here as well. Just angle everything here. He has a weak point. And he can also encircle this force. Does it even matter in advanced wars? An encirclement. Triple anti-airs, let's go for APC there. Goes for power. Generally what all you need. Stuff is in range. But not a lot of stuff. Let's see how it goes. Hits infantry, hits anti-air. Hits tank twice, but his reduced firepower plagued him. Knocks out Neo, hits anti-air, hits a Neo, hits a tank, hits an anti-air. Resupplies, hits regular tank, hits a bomber, hits bomber again. Oh, one health fighter did not even a single point of damage. Hits bomber again. Times which Von Bolt can play Andy. Alright, let's see. Vombo starts turn 156 versus 100, yeah, 100, 562. Blah, that's very different. And versus 390, I cannot speak. Takes out the wounded fighter with the wounded anti-air. Battlecopter hits battlecopter, tank hits infantry, anti-air hits battlecopter, sacks itself, hits battlecopter. He could possibly get another X Machina this turn. I have no idea at this point. Battlecopter does finish off some missiles. Neo tank hits artillery, tank hits artillery, bomber hits artillery, anti-air tank hits anti-air, tank hits artillery, Neo tank finish off anti-air. Stuff just going down. Sacks anti-air, hits battlecopter, bombs a artillery, takes out APC, finish off APC, Neo tank hits artillery, tank hits rocket, bomber hits rocket, or battlecopter hits artillery, gets knocked out, rocket gets knocked out, artillery gets knocked out, hits the artillery, hits the artillery. Only a couple of X-Mach units did not go down there. Bomber, Neo tank, anti-air hits, finish off infantry unit there. Not enough for Ex Machina, but he will be able to plow one next turn. Grit got down, knocks down to 230 versus 612, and hits the resign button. Yep, Vombo, all he needed was Ex Machina, is able to break the wall. And that is going to be game. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Not a great replay to cover, honestly. It was pretty solid, and then all of a sudden, attack. And again, that's a lot of games. Well, that was a decent warm-up. This one, I think, is going to be a good one. Give me more than just the, game, the stream. I know some players want to see more Javier games, and this should be a good Javier game. Javier is always fun to cast. I've been appreciating Javier's defensive and indirect defense a bit more. It's surprisingly a bit more powerful than you expect. By the way, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the south side as the Amber Blossom, not Amber Wilds. We have, well, Amber Blossom Javier. We have Interim RBF. So on the north side as Jade Sun Hawk. We've got Gray Fox, who's not exactly in a grayish color. I'll keep Jade Sun. Players don't usually pick that color scheme. Either way, Javier does have only one comm tower to utilize, but with plus 20% indirect defense, it potentially result in plus 30% indirect defense, along with all the passive, say, plus 10% from indirect defense on planes. It does start adding up quite a bit, not to mention forests and cities go along with it. Of course, Hawk is nice, simple plus 10% offense. Global damage is going to be very nice. Javier's extra indirect defense is going to be very nice. It sort of eliminates the capability of opponents to point out indirects, honestly. Which means a part of your arsenal is just not available. Less important than, saying tanks, but still, it is actually a very important part, particularly on, say, this mountain pass side for your defense. And of course, your opponent will have additional plus 10% defense as opposed to plus 10% offense. So a pretty good counterpart in this matchup. Got multiple tanks now engaging this tank. This tank needs to fall back before it gets hit twice. Sure, it may have plus 10% defense, but getting hit twice is not great. It does knock out that entry unit there. Very nice. Tank over here has free range, recon help hit with anti-infantry, and there's enough roads here to advance the front line pretty quickly. Another tank over here. So we've got 2 tanks versus 2 tanks. Tank over here, an engaged tank. Tank over here. Right now, Hawk has 13,000 income versus 12,000 income, so both sides can afford a tank per turn, but that's about it. There's also an airport in the back here. Both players can equally utilize a battlecopter. Though granted, plus 10% defense of battlecopter is not important. Make it a bit more resilient to machine gun fire, but that's about it. From tanks, from infantry, and all that sort. So less chip damage. Tank, double infantry. We got 3 tanks over here for Javier at the moment versus 2 tanks. Third tank in the reserve. This infantry unit's getting hit multiple times. Recon finish off infantry unit there, which could be good bait for this tank here. This tank is in range of this tank, but 3 defense stars, and maybe a good idea to keep it there. Could fall back to the city up here. Tank hits tank. First strike over here. Finish off some outlying infantry units. And the tank is advancing. Just pulls up tanks slightly. Tank, infantry. Obviously have 14,000 income, so we can now reliably deploy 2 tanks out per turn. Let's finish off this tank here. It's infantry unit there, so got some screening for the tanks. Interrupts a capture there. Tank gets the recon. Tank, and infantry. Interrupts the capture. Hits the infantry twice. Goes to the capture. Tank hits tank. Javier now has a power available. Tank, and infantry. Oh, activates the tower shield, which gives him 10 double selected column tower, so it gets +10 in total from that. Additionally, gets additional indirect defense since there's no indirect, so not importance. With his tower shield, gives him +10, activating power, and he has another 10 to +10, so he totally gives him +20. Not bad mix offense and defense. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. Gains a good amount of damage done. Tank, and infantry. Ends turn 65,000. Hawks ends turn 48, so he is behind. This map is pretty low income for 3 bases. 23 capture victory. Medium tanks are probably going to see the heaviest tank this entire game, if that. So I'm sort of surprised there's not any been battlecopters yet. No side has gone for anti-year either. You can skip out on deploying out anti-years if you know if there's no fog of war. Tank gets hit twice. Got a full health tank here. The 2 health tank could sack itself in the 7 health tank, and then this full health tank should be able to pick it off. Hawk has a power which could have been actually an argument made to deploy out last turn, because a lot of his stuff is slightly wounded, and slightly wounding everything would be very nice. Yeah, there's actually an argument to say of deploying out power last turn. Full health tank hits 7 health tank. Does actually manage to one-shot it. I am curious. Let's see. Oh, had rely on luck to a certain extent. Of course, we don't see the fractional health. Goes 60 to a nice 69%. Does finish off that tank there, so very good. I was saying to sack that tank, but guess it was simply not necessary. Tank, and infantry. 24 units, 68 versus 46, so Javier has a nice advantage, about a full turn advantage, if not then some. Not mentioned 23 versus 18 units, so nice small unit advantage. Tank hits twice. He does have a mech pulling field. Infantry, tank, and tank. It seems like Hawk's health regeneration for superpower and power is going to be quite nice this game. I see a lot of wounded tanks on the field. And how many tanks did it take to take out this tank? It got hit 4 times, or was it 5 times? It was a lot of hits. Superpower is now available, which will restore both these tanks up to 7. Not to mention damaging everything. You could launch some attacks before popping the superpower if he wants to get some health recovery. Javier has a nice 72 versus 43, nearly twice the amount of value, but of course superpower inbound. Let's see, 43. Capture. 43 to 48. Black Storm. puts his opponent down, was it 70 something to 56? Tank hits tank. Javier now has the power. Tank hits tank. Looks like those tanks are overextended a little bit too much. They hit 2 infantry units there, so definitely overextending. Does not finish off the tank there. That tank's quite close to 1% ho. Tank, and infantry. Interrupts the capture. Pops the power. Game +20 global. Of course, opponent does have +10 global at the moment. He's also capturing up this seaport, which 2 capture progress remaining. How stupid would it be to try to go for a proxy battleship? If it's coming from me, probably very. Because how much is it? 25,000? No, that's Days of Ruins. 28,000? That's like 2 turns of income. Probably not worth it. Looks like handful of probs still despicably neutral. Got this one here and these 2 here. Tank, and infantry. 3 alpha infantry units could finish off the 1 health infantry or wound the other infantry unit there. Does capture seaport. 14,000, 17,000 income. Seeing how low income this game is, it's actually very important. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. Finish off tank. Finish off 1 health infantry unit there. Tank, and infantry. Capture a couple properties there. 16 for 17,000 income. 1 property still despicably neutral. Finish off some units there. Recon can take a shot at 1 health one. Probably finish it off. Mech finish off 1 health tank. Mech in the first battle cup of the entire game. Infantry. Javier will now need to deploy out an A-tier, potentially 2. You could wait a turn and see which flank the battle cop is heading to, and which Hawk could do, just simply move it south, because it doesn't mean it's going left or right. And if you were to pop an anti-air here, if it moves directly south, then just simply go left. And then it forces him to build an anti-air here, force a double reaction, a potential overreaction. Of course, the anti-air could simply try chasing it. But I do think the best move action for the battle club is just simply go straight down south. You don't lose any movement if you plan to go left or right. There's no Pythagorean theorem in this game. Artillery, anti-air, infantry. Tank, and infantry. Javier has the power. Infantry, battlecopter, and infantry. So he decides to counter his opponent's battlecopter with his own battlecopter. There's also anti-air here. Did I not see the anti-air earlier? May have. Battlecopter is out of range of the anti-air thanks to these 2 mountains. Tank, anti-air, and infantry. Got tower shield now activated, getting +20 global. Tanks hit the tank. Does machine gun down. Tank hits tank. Very nice. That is a chain of tanks. And managed to reach all the way around and hits the battlecopter. Very nice. I didn't realize he could reach all the way around. But he did. Got some great victories there by Javier. We got 89,000. Hawk made a superpower this turn. Mech gets a good strike there on the tank. Tank hits tank. Yeah, the extra defense. Oh, there's a superpower. And yep, this thing's at 4 health. If you look on the bottom left, you can see the 4 HP down here. So superpower got deployed in the field, calling his opponent down quite a bit, gains some health recovery as well. Does not machine gun down the tank, probably close to 1%. Tank, and infantry. Artillery gets a good shot there. And Javier goes for a black boat here, I just realized. That's interesting. Denied the seaport. Black boats are not exactly cheap. 7,500, so take a handful of turns to get that recovered, but he of course has 4 resupplies. I don't know if that's worth it. Try and go for forward momentum, I guess. Infantry, 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 and battlecopter. Tank hits tank, tank hits tank. Meteor, infantry, and tank. Resupplies infantry, tank hits tank, battlecopter hits infantry, meteor hits infantry. Looks like that battlecopter... it doesn't look good going... Actually... Wait, what? He built a second black boat to trap the tank here. I'm trying to really turn that. This is 7,500. This is 7,000 minus 10%, so 6,300. Hopefully he gets enough momentum from the black boat, but I don't think that's a good idea. It does provide some momentum, because if this 4 infantry goes down, then the tank here can strike this tank, then the anti can hit the battlecopter. So there is a lot of potential value here by saving the battlecopter by trapping the tank with a black boat. But I am not too sure about that. This tank is out of range. Anti-air will need to go through both these targets. Engineer can't climb the mountainside. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anti-air does strike regular tank. Does finish off with the infantry. Tank hits tank. Of course, it's in range of the artillery. Or if tank hits the artillery. Does finish off that tank there. It's the anti-air. He could resupply. Oh, machine guns the tank a little bit. He could resupply this tank here and then strike that tank. Pops tower shield. Anti-air hits anti-air. Maybe should have gone for that attack before taking that shot, but maybe didn't have enough. Tank, infantry, and tank. Battlecopter, infantry, infantry, and artillery. Hits the infantry twice, hits the infantry again. Battlecopter hits the tank, artillery gets struck by a tank. Anti-air, tank, infantry. Putting up 103 for 64. Javier's been maintaining great position this entire game. Hits the tank there. Anti-air does strike battlecopter. Hits the infantry unit. Does strike the anti-air twice. And now thrice. Battlecopter hits the artillery. A lot of boosting infantry. Hawk has a power. He may want to consider it. Not a lot of stuff needs to be healed up by 1 though. Finish off that infantry unit there. Hits the capturing squad. Pops black wave. Pops the power. Artillery does strike the anti-air. Finish off regular tank there. Finish off 1 health infantry. Hits that one there. This should be up. Does the unit there. Hits the capturing squad there. 4 capture progress, 10 capture progress remaining. Anti-air, artillery, and infantry. Hits the tank. Hits the tank again. Another tower shield's available. Pops it. Does take out the mech there. Takes out the artillery. And in terms of 95,000, Hawk is 72. He's definitely evened out quite a bit, but still about a full turn behind. Hits the tank there twice. Hits the infantry unit twice. Power shield providing the extra defense been very useful. That tank hardly took any damage there. Power shield on top of the city. Anti-air infantry and tank. Anti-air does finish off battle copter. Tank hits tank. Tank hits a tank again. Tank hits other tank. 2 health tank finish off tank. Does the anti-air, hits tank, or hit the anti-air again. Finish off the 2 health tank while taking a strike the full health tank. A couple artillery by Hawk, but remember the tower shield, I think increases indirect defense not to 30% but up to 40%. Artillery, battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. Hits that regular tank there. Good shots. Does get another good round of the tank. Battlecopter, mech, infantry, and infantry. Oh, he merged those 2 black bolts together since they were both damaged by the Black Storm. Merging them together for a decent refund is always a good possibility. Tower shield activated once again. Hawk has his power available. Taking some good damage there. And as well, this artillery could show the tank or the black bolt there, but with tower shield available, it's hardly going to do any sort of damage. Does activate Black Wave. I am curious of how much lack of damage that artillery would do to the tank. Yeah, not much. Let's look at the battlecopter. Artillery does tickle that tank a little bit. Pavilions have been so bulky, he's having so much trouble with them. Tank, infantry, and mech. Some of those outlying units are starting to go on down. Anti-air gets trapped. Hits the infantry unit there, hits tank. In range of a full health artillery. Sure, he has some defense, indirect defense this time. But not a whole lot. Because previously it was doing about, let's just say, 20% damage. Now it's currently doing 50% damage. Actually one-shotted there. Great counterattack here by Hawk, getting a lot of kills right now. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Of course, Hawk did reclaim the seaport. Black boat's still floating around. Anti-air getting bracketed. Tank, infantry, and anti-air got deployed on the field. Battlecopter, double infantry, and a mech. Tank hits tank. Hits the finish off the infantry unit there. Tank hits the anti-air. Anti-air goes down. He does have a battlecopter in range of the battlecopter. Just needs something to line of sight to get to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, in range. Just needs that tank in front of it removed. 4 artillery will have a bit of trouble with it, with the extra indirect defense. Oh, wait, no, he has another battlecopter here, never mind. Battlecopter is down to minimal amounts of health. Tank and double infantry. Javier has enough for another tower shield. Battlecopter or artillery strikes the mech. Anti-air gets finished off, but in range of some artillery, but the artillery does get hit. Infantry, anti-air, and anti-air. We do have another black wave summoned. Excuse me. Okay, some good hits there. Hawk feels like he has more tanks here and starting to really turn this game around. Right now he has 6 tanks versus just 2. I think he's going 2 heavy and 8 years. Though Hawk does have a good number of battlecops in the field. Artillery does strike the mech there, hits him infantry along the flank. Javier also has 19,000 income versus 15, so there's quite a bit of income advantage this entire game. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Instead of 72,000, Hawk has 71, so they're pretty much evened out at the moment. We could see a tower of power or a tower shield next turn. All depends if he wants extra defense as well as offense. Maybe I'll just go for power, honestly. And Hawk is making some really important picks in center. We do have now regular power activated for Javier. Hits the tank there, hits that tank, hits the other tank. Hits the mech, tank, battlecopter, and double infantry. Mech gets a good shot there, tank gets a good shot as well. The extra offense defense is a bit of a problem this turn. Does throw some rounds to the black boat. ETO does strike regular infantry again there and there. Battlecopter does get struck by a infantry unit. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Triple capture. Now Hawk has income advantage. Medium tank and double infantry. It's the mech trying to capture the city now. Battlecopter hits a tank. And another tower shield is available. Infantry, and mech saving some money. He's going for something big this next turn. 10,000 bank. What units are banned? Stealth is available. Black bombs are not. Hits the battlecopter, hits the tank a couple times, trying to capture the property there. Hits the battlecopter. Do have a medium tank by Hawk. Trying to break through down south. And right now Javier's on back foot. We do have a power activated there, tower shield. He has enough money to go for bomber and triple infantry. But maybe a little bit too late. There's also a lot of fighters or battlecopters in the field. Does take a good number, send a good number of those battlecopters. Bomber, triple infantry. It's for 88,000 versus 84. Got another power activated there. Of course, Javier's gonna have to pay a little bit in repairs, but he's losing his front line. Anti-air infantry and anti-air. It's the E tier and does resign there. Good comeback there by Hawk. Javier just overextended. I think particularly where he had like was it 2 infantry here, then he sent 2 tanks there, and then immediately got picked off. I think that was a big point in the game where Javier just started losing the game. Is angry, saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. Before I get on the next replay, I do need the restroom. Please give me a moment. Apologies, I am back. Let's see now. Yep. Advanced Wars by Web, and that one's done. Oh, this is gonna be a crazy match. I forgot about this map. It's one of those weird layout maps where you have bases all across the map. There we go, that should be good to go. So let's get started. Green's level 1 and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn this V shape as the Fire Red Andy. We got Blood Moon. Spawn north or the upside down V shape Green Earth Lash. We got Matagi. Yes. Either way, let's get started. This is a 4 base map. There's a pair of compowers here. Airports here. One lab is also the weak side. Seems like this is the weak side. You usually see this flank gets overrun first, but it's not common this one either. There's also a pretty short rush distance here, so you could go for mechs and try to rush opponent's stuff down here, but that's probably not a good idea. But they could try ambushing something on the base if you really wanted to. There's a decent amount of force here, so terrain tactics, prime tactics, perfect movement could be quite nice for Lash. And of course get a lot of good repairs. As long as stuff just stays wounded and not dead, he can just pull them back, get repaired. And looks like got some infantry engagements here. This city should be fine unless Lash stops capturing there, but she'll actually goes for double tap there and goes for the strike there. Very nice. Keeping defense as opposed to being in the river. Keeping the weapons not waterlogged. Tank heading over here for now. We do have a recon over here as well. Tank here, of course, can't range his infantry units. Tank, infantry, and infantry. Battlecopter over here. Tank, infantry commits a base skip and commits 2 base skips. Anti-air. And looks like Lash does manage to capture this city here. Could go for a mech nearby to protect it if there's armor. Infantry and goes for a strike there. Does basically stop that capture. So you got another tank and tank here, infantry and infantry. It's the infantry unit there, finished off with the recon, thanks to the additional firepower from on top of cities. And looks like up here is a little bit vulnerable to tanks and recons at the moment. May go for a tank next turn. Got a couple of tanks up here, mech, anti-air, tank, and infantry. Tank does hit the recon. Tank is out of range. Try to flip this property now, and of course we do have a tank in the way. 2 elf infantry will not be able to range it unless it's terrain tactics, which probably still won't get the interrupt either way. This infantry unit twice. Tank, artillery, infantry, and anti-air. There's anti-air here for anti-air coverage to keep this battlecopter away. If it decides to take a shot against the mech, it will die. Tank here may just want to get off from that forest there before the mech gets a good strike from the mountain side. So this area may get overrun. Got a pair of tanks in the battlecopter here, another pair of tanks here. So Lash may need to go for a medium tank over here to stabilize this region, if she wants to save that region. Over here, just got a mech here, which can pose a threat to the tanks and to the recon, but only a threat because there's only one of them. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. She does go for medium tank down south. Squirrels away the anti-airs as well. Hits that infantry unit twice. Goes for infantry, infantry, and infantry as well. 24,000 income versus 20,000. Make that 22. Mech gets a good shot there on that tank. And looks like Andy's going to front shift heading up here now. Got a good amount of tanks, infantry, and battlecopters. No anti-air support, so this is probably going to be another anti-air hazard, I guess. This could be for a medium tank. Does look at the mech there, slowly picking up this area off. Got another mech in reserve, which could take out this tank here. But now got some artillery pushing forward. Will not range the base, but it will at least provide defensive coverage. Medium tank mech. Infantry. Infantry. Battlecopter to strike the tank there, getting some points of damage. Hits the infantry again. Hits the medium tank again. The mutants got hit there. Could pop the power. Probably not really a good idea. Mech finish off tank. Infantry hits infantry. Infantry hits infantry. Another mech up here. Artillery to strike this mech there, then probably needs to surround this base with infantry. 4 capture progress, so next turn that will likely be captured unless infantry says no. Tank hits tank. We do have enough for terrain tactics. Medium tank does hit tank. Mech finish off tank. Anti-air hits battlecopter. Sometimes there's going to be another medium tank here. You now have a superpower for Andy, plus 1 movement range, plus 10% firepower, and plus 5 health recovery. It's the mech twice. Looks like the artillery is going to be pushed forward to range the base. Anti-air tank. Infantry. Have 3,000 in the bank. And infantry. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank again. Do now the full superpower activated there. This mech's at full health, just ignore the 7. plus 1 movement range, plus times some firepower for all units global, including infantry. Tank hits tank. Ball goes to get prime tactics next turn. Mech, infantry finish off mech. Artillery, tank. This city is still despicably neutral, along with this one here. Another infantry unit up here, so this area is effectively forfeit. Fargo, see the prime tactics. Right now, Andy enters of 121. Flash starts of 120, so she's about 1 turn behind. So let's see how well this goes. Hits the infantry again. Recon gets a boosted strike, nukes the mech, and this area is secure. Healthy infantry could stay and capture the properties, and then everything else can just migrate down south or east. Can't go any more east. Get some good hits there. Anti-air hits the tank, does not finish off. If this one was gone, how far can this anti-air move? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if this anti-air couldn't strike this tank here, then this anti-air could not strike this infantry, which prevented the medium tank from striking the medium tank. So this not finishing this off is actually quite important. Let's see, what health was it? Let's see how... It was subject to RNG. We don't know how little health this tank had, so it was a gamble, that's for sure. It was not bad luck, it was... had it been relying on very good luck. Even then, we don't know if that would one-shot it. Medium tank. Commits a base, skip down here. And another infantry over here. Artillery does strike the anti-air. Of course, she does have double defense stars. Tank does lose the roll there, so it was very low in health. Indians turn 112 was 103, so Flash is still behind, but only slightly, and making good capture progress up here. Has more income while at it. Tank hits tank. Tank hits infantry. Medium tank does, or regular tank goes down. All gonna be anti-air next turn. Yep. For this turn, battlecopter, anti-air. 6,000 of bank. Pulls back over here. This could be a case for a mech with these nearby tanks here. This probably should be infantry. Infantry mech. I love it when I guess correctly like that. I've been pretty good at accurately guessing what Lash should go for. Twice medium tanks now, infantry mech to go along with it. And handful anti-airs. Those range the base there with the artillery. Medium tank heads up north, hits regular tank. Get some infantry units there, capture some properties. Mech, infantry, tank, and infantry. Right now, Lash does have 5 bases, India has only 3. Of course, one that's sort of been occupied as own units, being showed by the artillery repeatedly. Medium tank does strike it, and the medium tank will go down and starts capturing it, and could be captured next turn. Hard to say. Lash could use terrain tactics to help interrupt the capture, but don't think anything that you have to punch through this tank first to begin with, and only one tank nearby. Yeah, most of this base will be captured next turn. She could go for artillery here to range the base. However, there's a lot of a screen there. So I'm capturing the airport there. In fact, capturing the airport would mean that Andy would not have access to aircraft, like he knows what an airport is. Which means Lash can, once she knocks out all the aircraft out of the air, does not have to go for anti-air, so it has to go for less unit composition, making it a bit easier to work with. Goes for medium tank there, artillery and support. Tank commits a base skip, another mech down here. Medium tank does strike medium tank. Hyper upgrade, and so this medium tank got repaired on up at 100, goes from 112 to 126. Medium tank got pretty much overrun, stays alive, got another prime tactics. They're probably going to need to sack the medium tank on one of those units and then pull something out there with the spore of prime tactics. We'll get 6 defense stars on another medium tank. That should go for mega tank. She has 20,000 income. She can't go for mega tank. She'll hardly even go for medium tank. She join stuff together. Even that would be a tall order. We do have another airport going to be captured. Prime tactics out activated. Right now it's 145 versus 95, so she's down by 2 turns, but does have more income at the moment. Tank hits tank. Interrupts that capture, hits that infantry unit there. Was pinned there. Tank hits tank. Medium tank, wounded medium tank hits regular tank. Does finish it off there. Another medium tank there. Mech infantry. Mech or infantry does take a shot against the tank. Medium tank gets shelled. There's another medium tank nearby to strike it again with another tank in reserve. Yeah, this area should just probably try to hold up. It could try pushing leftwards, so trying to eye for these cities, but overall, it's going to be hard to displace this, though there's not too many assets here, so Lash could just try blitzing for the properties, all the infantry nearby. Andy hits most of his forces located right around here. We do have a medium tank here that is at full health. Takes out the anti-air. Recon just parks on top of the city there. Down to 12 fuels. So that recon's been reconnoitering everything. Artillery does not take out the 1 health infantry unit there. Probably wants another medium tank there. She does have 23,000 right now in the bank. Medium tank. Another tank and commits double base skip. Tank hits infantry and occupies the airport. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. This battlecopter is actually down to 1 ammo. You'll have to use an APC to get that resupplied. That, if it goes out of ammo, it basically becomes an anti-infantry tool. That's it. And a blocker. Yeah, I don't think Lash needs to worry about deploying on any more anti-air at the moment. In fact, I think Lash should sack the 1 health battlecopter on the 8 health battlecopter to bleed it down to 0 ammo. Yeah, I think Lash should really do that. That will neutralize this battlecopter from being a threat. Tank hits tank. Capturing the city there. Hits the artillery. Medium tank does strike regular tank and not the medium tank. Tank hits tank. Medium tank hits anti-air. Battlecopter does not sack itself. Probably trying to cover this medium tank. Medium tank. Mech, infantry, medium tank, and another infantry. I say just infantry units could be needed, only thing needed over here, though tanks could help reinforce this area. Medium tank does strike medium tank. Tank hits tank. Activates the superpower there, goes from 108 to 123. And in this case, the battlecopter hit at 8 health infantry units, so it still has the 1 ammo. Medium tank does strike medium tank. Try and flip the airport once again. take a shot from the mountainside. Maybe possibly get a superpower before activating to get a lot of extra defense stars. Oh, right. Battlecopters can't use battle ammo against battlecopters. I'm an idiot. My bad. That somehow completely skipped my mind. Yeah, they do use the machine guns on the battlecopters. My bad, sorry about that. I was thinking that was such a good plan that I didn't even think about that. It was actually really, really stupid. Oh, battlecopter is... Now it's out of ammo. And low on fuel. And low on health. It's low on everything. Oh, there's Prime Tactics. Can get a boost strike on this airport. Mech gets a boost strike on that tank there. Huh. Certifies and one-shot it. Then again, Andy does have a superpower available, which means plus 10% of defense. Yep, 89 versus 97. If that wasn't there, basically would have been one shot. So the passive plus 10% defense come in handy. And then machine gun down, so it's completely worthless for me pointing that out. Tank blitz hit tank, gets a good shot there. Infantry unit hits infantry unit from the mountainside, took 0 damage return. Infantry hits artillery again. Hits the 1 health infantry. Medium tank gets a booster strike from the medium tank. Tank will finish off artillery up north. Neo tank, infantry, infantry, and infantry. Join capture, so 5 capture products remaining, and that was with superpower, so likely next turn it will be captured. A lot of good picks there. Medium tank could strike the Neo tank, Mega tank. Oh, Mega tank changes the math quite a bit in this situation. It may be best the Neo tank to run, because the Mega tank will one-shot the Neo tank. It's on top of a city, so you shouldn't be trying to engage with anything. Mega tanks are one of the few things that it's just difficult to deal with. Yeah, I say Lash needs to just stay with the Mega tank. It can't move very far. Doesn't have a powerful plus on movement range. Just stay with the Mega tank until you actually keep the 3 health and 2 health tank nearby, just so you can throw it into it to waste its ammo, but make sure it's not on top of a property like the base there. Speaking about ammo wasting. Yep, Neo tank falls back. Nothing to do against that. At most, build infantry on the base. It's not going to be useful. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, tank, and tank. Battlecopter does finish off that. Oh yeah, that's his machine gun as well. 0 ammo. Then again, it's 1 health versus 3 health. It's not like that matters much. And infantry there to secure the base. Medium tank to help secure the base. Or to occupy the base. This tank is fully surrounded, at least from this side. It can still escape through this way. Maybe fall back to the city there. Neo tank finished off the battlecopter. This airport did get captured. May need to get ETR up here soon. Because right now Lash is lacking ATRs in the field. She has 0 at the moment. 1 battlecopter way over here. So yeah, this will need to go for ATR and push up north. There's an ATR, tank, battlecopter, infantry. Soon 80 would be on 5 base. Got some good hits there. ATR over here. ATR, I'm not sure. Oh, battlecopter over here. Tank hits tank. Tank gets hit by artillery. Tank hits tank. Mega tank on top of a city. It's providing enough coverage for the medium tanks. This Mega tank is just providing so much presence. It's hard for Lash to move around. It's just establishing an aura of death. And looks like Lash is going in. Medium tank does fall back, hits the regular tank there. And going back to wasting ammo, that is still a possibility for the Mega Tank. There's no APC over here. Maybe one of these should be getting APC out to keep the Mega Tank supplied. Neo Tank, easy one shot. Artillery takes some 3 off tank. No, those wounded tanks have now gone down. Medium tank constructing medium tank there. Hyper upgrade, gets some... Okay, that's back at 10 health. Plus movement range global. I have a feeling that Lash is on the back foot to say the least. Anti-air, infantry, 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 and infantry. With another battlecopter. Let's see, what does Lash have? It says 94,000, Andy has 132. Though it feels like Lash has less than 94,000 at the moment. I suppose it's a good core of battlecopters, but still. 26 units versus 22. Try and capture some properties. Both players have 2 labs at the moment. This one's not going to be attainable, so lab victory is not available for Lash, but she can at least start making her way towards it. Artillery, battlecopter, artillery, anti-air. Another prime task is available. Which can allow this tank to blitz and hit the anti-air, but got multiple anti-airs. It's the mech. Tank, infantry. Yeah, this one's just simply out of range of everything. Wait a second. Lash has 29 properties. She just needs 3 more captures. She wins the game through capture. That's actually quite feasible. Granted, this one's being captured against her, but that's Lash's, I think, only path to victory right now is the capture victory condition. And 3 properties is very much doable. Does save that one from being captured. Battlecopter hits the artillery. Takes out the artillery. Only 1 anti-air in the region, and there's a lot of battlecopters, so simply just getting overwhelmed. No prime tactics just yet. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and artillery. So yeah, she can reasonably capture this one. And then just eye for maybe these 2, and then she wins. Though this one's getting flipped and will be flipped, so that as a setback to that plan. She does have some infantry here to protect them for now. Top left city cap though. Top left city. Oh, I think you're talking about that one. This one's being captured as well. She has terrain tactics, so she can easily interrupt it. She needs to interrupt it, assuming that's what she's going to be eyeing. Anti-air, tank, artillery. Oh no, she does not interrupt it. I think that's a bit of a throw. Because that's her only path to victory in my opinion. Though she does have more valor in the field. Maybe I'm misreading the game. It feels like Andy is such a powerful position right now. He has 5 bases. But his income, that's the problem. That right now, he has 18,000 income versus 28,000. That's how Lash is staying in the game for so well. She has a bunch of mobile assets, able to provide a lot of pressure. She may be able to capture these 2 bases there. But Andy just has a lot of heavy metal. I'm just having trouble reading the game. She still has her prime tactics available. Mech. Infantry, infantry, and infantry. Another battlecopter. Terrain tactics? What is she eyeing? Artillery strikes the tank are there. This will give her perfect movement for an incredibly high 4-star cost. Nothing's been utilizing the perfect move there, though maybe the tank there. Secures the unit there, or base. It's the artillery there. Mega tank can't range the artillery at the moment. Neo tank infantry, infantry. Was that an actual terrain tactics being used? A very limited precise terrain tactics allowed her to quickly secure this base here, reducing production. Anti-air is going to be needed, but there's too many tanks nearby for anti-air. That reduced the production from going from tank and anti-air. Sure, it takes a shot there. Superpower activated. Right now, 104. One artillery does get struck. Mega tank is out of ammo. It's machine gun still posted with versus infantry and artillery. Trying to flip a property here. 12 capture progress remaining. Infantry, anti-air, infantry, and anti-air. Anti-air will strike anti-air. Leaving at 2 health. Takes up anti-air with the battlecopter. Artillery actually managed to range this base. That's interesting. And like that, Lash was able to occupy both these bases, and Andy's resigns. I think I really misread the game. I think the lack of income, it felt like Andy was such a powerful position, but he just had no income. And once he secured the one territory, all of his stuff was just slow and slower. And somehow Lash's terrain tactic was actually useful. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Now let's see, probably have time for one last replay tonight. Andy versus Drake. Let's see. What's this one? Hawk versus Von Bolt, Fog of War. Lash versus, not Lash, Jess versus Jake. Let's see. Oh, I did that one. I forgot to delete that one. 48 turn Kindle mirror matchup that was. Eagle versus Olaf. Let's see. Let me know if you guys see a replay you want to do with facing the matchup. Right now, just trying to see if anything seems fun. Adder. Though I think I may have done that one. Oh, it's been a while since last done Rachel. Did I do that one as well? I feel some of these I recognize. It's getting a little bit overlapping. I swear, it could just be the same players. Yeah, we'll just go back down. We'll just do Von Bolt versus Hawk. Some heavyweights. That should be good. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the south side as a Silver Claw Hawk, we got Emus. Spawn on top left side as the Orange Star Von Bolt, we got DM11, which is probably the name of ammunition because I play too much War Thunder because I know like there's DM33 and all that type of ammo. Does strike the defenseless pipe seam, you monster, that's a warm crime. This map is, of course, a 3-base map, 1 airport. Both players do start with a black boat in the corner, which does provide scouting to the base there and some pass-by scouting from the airport. Recon deployed in the field and the stealth approach, which does have to go through a lot of 4. So they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not very far, to say the least. Double recon for Von Bolt. Really trying to reconnoiter the area. Tank infantry. Artillery here. While it may try to destroy the pipe steam, may try to destroy the black boat. Got tank, infantry, and infantry. Recons making their way forward. This tank could go either direction. And the recons are going both directions. And we've got triple tanks so far by Hog. Von Bolt has not deployed out a single tank just yet. Recon gets a strike there. In range of this tank here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, very much in range. And it does have 3 defense stars, so survive. Then I have to fall back and recon. Tank gets a good strike there. Anti-air infantry and infantry. Horse did. Oh, there goes a black boat. Did interrupt this capture here preemptively. That will probably slow down the capture game. This infantry could just fall, go to the mountain, and become a spotter up there. It's that infantry unit twice. Recon falls back to the city. Tank hits a recon. Nice little hit there as well. Plus 10% defense really came in handy to help counteract the plus 10% offense. Artillery, infantry, and tank. Recon finish off the 2 infantry on the mountain. Tank, recon, and infantry. This black boat still exists, but we do have artillery here. Interrupts this capture. No tanks nearby. Hawks right now up to 4 tanks. Infantry, and anti-air. Von Bolt has 4 tanks as well, so equal numbers. This tank will be able to range this tank, however, 3 defense stars. Because I set the 3 defense star infantry unit instead. Pipe seam now under siege. Tank, and infantry. I was trying to say battlecopter for some odd reason. I think maybe I was trying to say battle master from Command & Conquer Generals. Tank takes out the recon. Try and flip a pair of properties. Right now, Von Bolt has 16,000 income versus the Hawk's much more significant 16,000 income. Both these captures should be easily interrupted by nearby infantry units there. Tank, and artillery. It's the infantry there. Gives a boost, or not boost strike, a strike from the city. Takes out the tank entirely. Anti-air hidden, not too important. Tank here in reserve. Can to get 1 strike on one of these tanks. This reinforcement tank is out of range. Pipe seam's gone down. Tank, infantry, battlecopter, and potentially another infantry unit. He has 1,000 monies remaining. Pipe seam on siege, down to 1% health. Gets machine gun down. You monster. Tank hits tank. Hits the infantry unit twice. Anti-air remains hidden. And we've got 2 anti-airs in the field. Bit of a bad call though, because Von Bolt only has 1 battlecopter. It's just not spawned out. Tank, and infantry. Black boat still exists. The artillery can start striking it next. Couple hits there on that infantry. Tank hits tank. Deletes his full health tank alone. Hits the anti-air as well. Hawk has a black wave available. which could be deployed out this turn. No units here. It could help allocate additional +10/+10 and the 1 global damage. A couple of units could get repaired up slightly, nothing too significant. Won't improve any capture progress. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. A lot of stuff pushing up here. So far, Hawk has pretty much nothing up here. A couple infantry units lurking in the woods. Von has a bunch of infantry not lurking in woods. Recon hits the infantry unit there and there. Battlecopter heading down south. Tank hit goes down. Tank will get a hit strike there as well, and will go down as well. Artillery is coming out of range. Black Boat goes down. Black Storm's almost available. He may be able to deploy out this turn. Probably going to pop it out immediately. +10/+10 is nice. There's a superpower. 2 points of global damage, 2 points of health recovery. Goes from 67,000 to 174 block. Von Bolt's down to 75, so still pretty even, though he still has his day-to-day fundings. Ex Machina could be deployed out this turn. Ex Machina will need another, let's just call it 16,000 funds, which is quite possible. There's at least 7,000 funds you can get here. Artillery on the auxiliary does get a strike there. Next Machina will likely strike right here. Recon, and artillery. Does spot that infantry unit there. No Ex Machina this turn. Tank will charge forward, hits tank, but in range to artillery and the auxiliary. Ex Machina is now available. It's recon. Infantry tanks heading up north. He is splitting up his tanks. This looks like Ex Machina going to land right here. Yep, I have a strong feeling it's going to be striking right here. Nothing visible, so struck right here. Or struck right here. This right here would be worse since it will lock on the base for an extra turn. Yep, so one of these two tiles is struck. Can't say for sure, honestly. Artillery strikes tank. Tank hits anti-air twice. Trying to flip some properties. And usually this, when there's equal values, it usually strikes the top tiles. It goes from left, right, I think the cartridge. So I think it struck right here. I'm guessing here rather than here. Yep, I guessed correctly. It strikes the top tile, not the bottom tile. Artillery, tank, and infantry. Pretty lackluster turn overall. Instead of 87,000 versus 101. Captured some properties using that tank as a meat shield. That has very little meat in it. Mostly some sort of form of metal. Tank, and infantry. Does hit that infantry unit twice. Tank, anti-air, and artillery. Getting some hits on the infantry unit there. Does spot the artillery. Tank's out of range. Threatening the comm tower. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. We got a nice core of tanks here. 4 of them. Healthy enough. A good reinforcement group of tanks here by Von Bolt. Recon, and infantry. Does hit the recon with the artillery. Recon gets hit. Infantry unit gets spotted. Some good hits here. Tank does go down. We do now have a black wave available. Trying to flip this property. Tank, anti-air, and infantry. Black wave is available, but I didn't deploy it out. Tank, hits the anti-air. Getting a lot of good hits. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry. Possibly see a black storm out this turn. All depends how the engagement goes. Just needs another 11,000 more funds. Hype scene down there goes down, which does shorten path here by one less forest. Is the battlecopter there? Yep, black wave, black storm. Goes from 75, 96, 84, 72. So an excellent amount of health recovery. Meteor, tank, and likely infantry. Yep. Answer for 100,000 and 100. Or 72, so about a full turn advantage. Though, look at this. I have not been paying attention, but Vulnerable has 23,000 income. Hawk's at 15, so it's going pretty bad for Hawk for income-wise. Vulnerable needs to capture 3 more properties and he wins the game. Make that 2 more properties. Go to the comm tower. 2 more properties and Vulnerable wins the game. Tank, battlecopter, and infantry. This is easily one he can probably claim. The other ones are going to be a bit more of a fight for it. I'm assuming the lad doesn't count as a capture for that. If it does, that's a possibility. Interrupts the capture of the comm tower. Yeah, it's equal income tier, so, and I don't think I've ever seen a differing shape like that. Yeah, cities, not properties. Never really think about the capture victory until it actually is feasible. Tank, artillery, and infantry. Hawk's little incomes is a huge problem right now, being 10,000 behind. That's more than a tank per turn. Does get some good hits there. Anti-air does go down. Infantry, tank. Ex Machina is now available. Likely could strike right here. No, right here likely strike if I has a guess. Maybe not right here. Make a strike here or over here. It's hard to say. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Looks at this strike the artillery core here. It still has 10 property income advantage, another 10,000. For those who need that converted to a metric, that's probably 10k. No, that joke was much better in my head. Because I was trying to do like the, from like normal unit to kilo, so it'd be k. And yet that's still k, which is still pretty common grammatical. Oh. That joke was horrible, so at so many levels, it was just not even good. Infantry, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. 70,000 versus 130. Granted, he sells day-to-day funds, but still he's severely behind, about 3 turns behind. And actually, the Ex Machina struck right here. I was actually not expecting that as a target. Could have sworn to hit all the artillery. Of course, I always forget anti-airs and tanks are equal when doing the cost calculations for a lot of this stuff. Suppose locking down anti-airs is not too terrible a spot to get locked down, since there's not too many battlecopters in the front line. Have some properties here. One more capture progress and he wins. And this is possible. This is a game-winning capture here. Will Hawk realize he's about to lose a game based on capture? Because I had installed a plugin for this, seeing this. Yep, he resigns. To be fair, he was not looking good either way. If you're winning by capture, you probably already lost the game. Or already won the game. The only CO who will probably beg to differ is Asami's victory march. Either way, this is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay of tonight, so